There is the bell, and that means soccer is in session. What is up, everybody? My name is Madison Crews, and welcome back to today's episode. Now, if you haven't had the chance to listen to yesterday's episode, that is going to be focused all on high school girls soccer all over Georgia, so if you want to tune into that, you can listen to that now. It's on our Spreaker. But yeah, I have a fun episode for you guys today. This one is going to be focused on high school boys soccer here in Georgia. And I'm going to be giving you guys a bit of a recap of everything you might have missed from SDH's Tuesday night throwdown, where Johnson beat North Oconee 2-0. Then I'm going to give you guys a quick recap of everything you can expect for tonight's matchup, where we all will be at Druid Hills High School, where they will face off against Clarkston. And then I'm going to give you guys a rundown of everything you can expect from SDH's game of the week this Friday when we go to Mill Creek, where they will face off against Collins Hill. But before we get into all of that, a quick word from our sponsors. Soccer is in Session is presented by Kaiser Permanente. Live well and thrive. Let Kaiser Permanente take care of the rest. Hey Atlanta, U.S. Soccer is moving its National Training Center to the ATL and hosting our first national team soccer doubleheader. The 9th annual She Believes Cup presented by Visa kicks off Saturday, April 6th at 12:30 p.m. at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Get your tickets now to support the U.S. women's national team against rivals Japan, followed by Brazil versus Canada. Secure your seats today at ussoccer.com/tickets. Again, that's ussoccer.com/tickets. Now, I mentioned it before, but Johnson beat North Oconee on the road 2-0 this Tuesday. Now, if you don't remember, Dalton beat Johnson's 31-game unbeaten streak back on February 23rd. But after that, Johnson has been unstoppable. They have won the last 2 games, and North Oconee was no different. They came in and they beat North Oconee on the road. And not to mention, it was monsooning over at North Oconee. So the weather was absolutely crazy, so it was definitely a fun one to watch. But if you want to listen to that game once again, you can check it out in our archive section on soccerdownhere.mixler.com. Now we have a bit of surprise for you guys this week. We are actually doing another round of games today. We are heading to Druid Hills, where they will face off against Clarkston. Now, the Clarkston boys soccer team are coming into the match with a 6-2 overall record and a 2-0 region record. They are also currently second in 4A Area 6 in their region, so that's a lot of fun. While Druid Hills currently has an overall record of 5-2-1, and they also have a region record of 2-0. They are currently third in 4A Area 6, so this one is going to be a very fun matchup. Both of these teams are undefeated in region, so they're both hungry for another win. I know me, Jason, and John are all looking forward to this matchup. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'm very excited to see this matchup. But yeah, you guys can tune in on soccerdownhere.mixler.com. The girls match will start at 5:30, and then followed by the boys match, which is supposed to start at 7:30, but depending on how long the girls game goes, it'll be 30 minutes after that game, so make sure y'all tune in. Now, moving right along to SDH's game of the week, Collins Hill will be going on the road to face off against Mill Creek, in what I have been told is called the Bird Battle. Now, Collins Hill is coming into the matchup with an overall record of 7-2 and a region record of 4-0. They are currently first in 7A Area 8. Now, Mill Creek is coming into the matchup with an overall record of 5-3 and a region record of 3-1. Mill Creek is currently second in 7A Area 8. So it is a matchup between the first place and the second place. It's going to be a fun matchup on Friday, so make sure y'all check that out at soccerdownhere.mixler.com. And to give you guys a bit of what you can expect from this matchup on Friday, I had the opportunity to talk to both head coaches. I got the chance to talk to Stephen George, who is the head coach for Mill Creek varsity boys soccer, and head coach for Collins Hill's varsity boys soccer, Jamie Gleeson. It was a lot of fun getting to talk to both of these coaches. We talked about how big this matchup is going to be on Friday and what we can expect from the match. But without further ado, here is my interviews with head coach Stephen George as well as Jamie Gleeson. Alrighty, so Coach George, one of the biggest things, especially in region play, is kind of that starting over period. It's kind of like a new season has begun. You guys are already 3-1 in the region. I mean, what have you guys been doing on the field to see such great success in region play?
I don't think that we've been doing anything really much different. It's like you said, it's really two different seasons. You have like the pre-region schedule that's just a bunch of friendlies, really, and then you have the region schedule where just the intensity of the games is just increased. And we've been playing a lot of these teams for so many years to where I think even if they weren't in our region, that the games would be intense anyways. So. What we're doing differently, though, I would just say that just a little bit of a heightened focus, and just a little bit more preparation, and we just know more about these teams than the teams that we played in the pre-region schedule. Just more preparation. I would say just more preparation, more attention to detail is the major difference, but not much.
Of course. And I mean, especially in that region when you guys had on Tuesday against Mountain View, that 2-0 victory that you guys had, and that was also away. You know, what has been the difference maker, especially when you guys go to visit and then you also get to come back home and play at home? How has that kind of been a difference for you guys? Have you noticed a big change, or what needs to be done in order to fix that when you go to an away stadium?
Yeah, it's not hard to motivate the guys to go and play at places like Mountain View. That's a place where we haven't had a whole lot of success since I've been here, and you know the conditions made it a little bit of a just kind of an ugly game. You know, it was like raining sideways for most of the game. I don't think that it's much different home or away, besides just maybe a little bit more focus that that we give in those away games to say, okay, hey, all right, we know that we're playing away from home. We know that their field is a little bit different than ours, and we know that this is the first time that we're playing them, so we have to be aware of, you know, what it is that they might do in this game that they haven't done in their previous games, and then when we play them the second time, and say, okay, hey, well, how might they change in the next game, the next region game? So not much difference from a home or away. Just maybe motivation is all.
I mean, even too, I think with the home and away, I feel like you're more motivated when you go away because, you know, you kind of want to come in there and get a win, not on your own turf, and kind of stamp that in there a little bit. So there's definitely, I think, that fight in there as well.
Yeah, especially at Mountain View. We've had a pretty fierce rivalry with them in region since I've been here. So yeah, it's not hard to motivate the guys to go play there and get a result.
And I want to move on ahead to Collins Hill this weekend. You guys are coming back home, which is going to be great, and facing off against Collins Hill, who has had some success as well. I mean, how do you guys carry that momentum from the win against Mountain View moving ahead to Collins Hill this Friday?
Yeah, we really approach every game just one at a time, and I don't know if it's momentum per se, because we prepare differently for every single opponent based upon their style of play or the system that they're running, or just like individuals that they have, and we may change. Honestly, we may change formations from a 4-4-2 to a 4-3-3 with 2 holding and 1 attacking to, you know, 1 hold, or 2 attacking, 1 holding. We may even play, you know, 3-5-2, 5-3-2. It just depends. So we're really tactically flexible in that regard. And it'll be more of, okay, what do we need to do to prepare for Collins Hill, because we know that they're good. They've been good for a long time, and what do we need to do to be successful? And then just playing at home is just a bonus. And hopefully the weather changes. It looks like it might be pretty poor again.
Yeah, the weather was not fun. We were at North Oconee last night, and it was kind of the same thing. It was the rain that just came in, but man, this week is it's not good weather right now. It's not fun.
Yeah, and we played last Friday night in the rain against Aquila, then last night against Mountain View in the rain, and now it looks like Friday against Collins Hill will be in the rain as well. So we bought some expensive tents a while back. They've been coming in handy.
I can imagine. I can only imagine. Now, this is a question too. I mean, before I get into my last one for you, Coach, how do you guys train for those conditions? Is there, when you know that there's going to be rain, how do you kind of prepare the players to play in a rain like that, and especially with the field? Sometimes, you're at home, what your field and what's going to look like. But when you play away, you don't really know that condition. How do you kind of balance that?
Yeah, you want to know the honest truth. Basically, we played at most of the schools in the county, and the county has two different turf providers or installers, and we know which schools have which type of turf. And one type of turf is a lot faster than the other when it's wet, and we have that type of turf. So we'll train on our turf field in preparation for those games, and we have a really nice practice field as well. So if it's not going to be raining or anything like that, we will typically train on our practice field. But that's about it. We know which type of turf which each team has, and we prepare that way, get used to just how fast it's going to be.
Absolutely. And my last question for you, Coach, with soccer is in session, I try to what we try to do at Soccer Down here is expand the game at all levels, whether it be from high school all the way up to professional. So what is something that fans or people of Soccer Down here should know about your program here at Mill Creek?
Just that, the coach that was here before me, he kind of built the culture of like family, and I really liked that when I got here, and I didn't want to change that. And we have good soccer players, but they're also really, really good kids. And I think it speaks to the kind of the power of high school soccer. Maybe a lot of people don't know that. They spend a lot more time together than what they would in a club setting. And the guys like it. They enjoy spending that time, and they really do treat it as a family. And I think that's the unique thing about the boys program here at Mill Creek more than anything else. The guys really they play as a family. They enjoy their time in high school soccer, and they can't wait till the next year. So that's about it.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to say again, thank you so much, Coach, for taking the time out of your day to talk to me. I really appreciate it. And I know that we're all looking forward to coming up to your stomping grounds and getting to call the game. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate y'all and the attention that you give to high school soccer. It's certainly appreciated.
Alrighty. Well, first of all, Coach Gleeson, I want to talk about your region as a whole. You guys have a lot of powerhouse schools in your region. How difficult is it to compete in your region, especially how well you guys have done in your region so far, being that you guys are 4-0?
For the last couple seasons, you're right. The schools that have been involved with in Region 8 for us have always presented some difficulties in tons of different ways. Most recently, it's been a big combat between us at the top with Mill Creek and Mountain View. But those other guys that are kind of anywhere between Decula and Buford and Central, they present different challenges as well. So we're happy to be 4-0 right now and happy to enter into tomorrow night with a nice understanding of what we need to accomplish and what we're after. And it's more so just trying to put those pieces together.
And you guys are coming off of a huge win against Buford where you guys went on the road and you won 1-0. Walk me through that matchup for you guys. What did you like from that game? What do you think still needs to improve, especially moving on ahead to the Mill Creek match?
Yeah, this has been a difficult kind of walk since last Friday, Mountain View game, another rainy kind of just slippery night. Ended up with some major injuries to a couple of our big players, which has been kind of difficult, but I've been super proud of the guys for stepping up on Tuesday in a even worse night when it comes to just rain and surface and kind of battling through those elements. I feel like the guys did super well. Felt like we had a lot of control of the ball. Buford's really well organized by Mike Wensler over there, and I always respect the game plan that they're going to put forth and the energy they bring. So we knew it was going to be a difficult one, especially with some of that equalizer rain coming through. Started the game well, made a different kind of just adjustment towards halftime, and came out second half and started kind of taking our possession a little bit more to the lethal side of things and creating some more chances. And we finally broke through when it came down to about 15 minutes left in the second half. Philip Bonacci had a back post header from Will Taylor as an assist, and that was a great matchup for both of them to continue showing their success. And super happy to walk out of there with a win, because that was a game that could have been one that we fell on, especially with some of our injuries that we experienced that week before. But again, the guys really stepped up, super proud of the way they responded. And a lot of guys kind of came through in some clutch moments. So it's a great night for us.
Now, with those key players that you guys are missing, are you having to rely upon a lot of maybe your younger players, like maybe your sophomores and your freshmen? And how have they kind of stepped up this season for you guys?
Right. So this season, we've got actually a smaller senior class than we did the past couple seasons. We've only got 5 guys on the roster at the current moment that are seniors, 2 of which did come down with injuries. One, our leading goal scorer, Noah Goodman, and then another one, our captain in the back, MJ Canlis. Replacing them is not easy to do, but those guys have turned into some of my assistant coaches at this point, and kind of enlisted them to be able to speak to our younger guys. Came in, we brought up a 9th grader who started the other night, Andrew Garcia. He was phenomenal, played the whole game. Love seeing him step up into that role as well moving forwards. Damon Harley is another one for us, a junior, who's just highly touted, highly skilled, huge player for us. Having him out too as a captain, a leadership figure on the field for us is difficult, but also we kind of pivoted to a new formation to give us a chance at kind of just doing some different things in his absence. All 3 of those guys should be back towards the end of March, maybe beginning of April. But again, yeah, definitely a younger lineup. Only started 1 senior on Tuesday against Buford. So the young guys really came through in the clutch for sure.
And have the players been liking having 2 of those senior guys kind of on the sideline with them, giving them a bit more of that guidance and being that leader, not only off the field, but on it as well?
Oh, for sure. It's funny because, whenever we score goals, especially at Collins Hill, we really like to celebrate together as a team, and they kind of fly over to the bench when this happens. And it's funny to see, we've got 2 guys on hamstring issues, and we've got one who's done a bit of his MCL at the moment. And they're all hobbling around to go celebrate still and trying to make sure that they don't do too much. So it was funny to watch. But again, yeah, those guys are responding really well to that leadership value that I know those 3 guys bring. And just in general, I feel like we're starting to hit some points where we can start seeing how capable we'll be, and getting those guys back will only add to that mix.
And I want to move on ahead to this matchup again on Friday against Mill Creek. Now, looking at it, you guys are number 1 in the region right now. They're only behind you, and they're second. It's going to be a very tough matchup. How have you guys been preparing to go up against a team like Mill Creek?
Whenever you look at the region schedule, you of course focus on a team like Mill Creek, just because ultimately the past couple seasons we've been battling it out as 1 and 2 for years now. And Stephen George over at Mill Creek does a fantastic job of getting his team to play the way that's going to get the most out of his roster. Last year, they were just phenomenal. I mean, we ended up as a Final Four team, lost in penalty shootout to Lambert, who eventually won the state championship the next game. And, we had gone really far, and we had only lost 4 total games, but 2 of those were against Mill Creek. The first one at home went to overtime, and we ended up losing 3-1. And then the second time was for the region championship, which went all the way down to penalties, and we lost there at their place. And he always does a great job. It's always a difficult game. It's one I know that they feel the pressure on when it comes to us, and vice versa with us to them. So we always see that game as a marquee moment. We always know that that's going to be one where it's going to take a lot of mental preparation for us to be able to go in and do what we do best. And that's really just our goal. I think Tuesday was a good sense of some of our resiliency and to battle through some of those elements and be the team that doesn't let those affect us as much, and to use those maybe towards our strength. So Mill Creek's always a tough opponent. I know they're going to be organized. Again, Stephen does a great job. So we've got to make sure we've got a good game plan, and we've got some confidence going into that to make tomorrow night the best we possibly can.
Absolutely. And my last question for you, Coach, is so in doing Soccer's in Session, a lot of people don't really know the development of high school soccer, especially here in Georgia with how big it's gotten. So what is something that you want viewers or people to know about Collins Hill varsity boys soccer?
Oh, man. I love high school soccer. I've played at a lot of different levels in my life through college, and the level I loved most was high school. It meant a lot to me to play with guys that I grew up with. I grew up in this county. I went to Decula High School just down the road, and we had a great time when I was there, and went to go play college in North Georgia, and it was just a different level. It was so fun to me. But there are so many values that come from high school soccer that progress you to that next level. I know these kids' behaviors. I know how they are in class. Their grades matter. Their behavior matters. How they act in the hallways matter. They're around each other all day. It's a different environment when it comes to club. With club, you can kind of show up to training and just know the guys for an hour and a half, 2 hours, see them on the weekend for that same amount of time. And, you kind of just peace out. But these guys spend 8 hours with each other in class, eating lunch together, going out to training right after school, which is on campus. And we've got great facilities here at Collins Hill. And they get to be around each other in the locker room. And then ultimately after practice, they go out and eat together. They do all these things. And it just resembles that professional atmosphere, that collegiate atmosphere as to what it looks like to be a student first, an athlete second, and friends throughout that whole entire process. And that's why I love high school soccer so much. I feel like most recently things have kind of gone the other way of club gets you to college and this, that, and the other. But when it does come down to it, it's a very shared aspect. To play and be good in college, you do have to play with other guys of different ages, just like you would in high school. You have to learn those ropes of seniority, of you've got guys on the team who are seniors that play in the position as you, and you've never been a bench player, and you've got to watch them be successful as a freshman just because they're 19, they're 18, they should be better than a 15, 16-year-old. And just kind of learning that rope and getting into the collegiate atmosphere and recognizing how much high school soccer can really bring them in terms of their arsenal of elements, mentality and confidence, and just overall general play. It's a different kind of game too. So I just feel like there's such a shared atmosphere when it comes to those. And at times you kind of get the butt end of it with high school where it's like, oh, it doesn't matter as much. And I can promise you, if you come to Collins Hill soccer games, you're going to see how much it means to our guys and how much it means to our community and how much we try to do the most we possibly can to bring out the most fun we possibly can together. I think the passion we bring, the things that we do as a team, it's written in our step. I mean, you could probably watch us on film and put it on mute and see how much it means to our guys that way. It's something that they really do put their best foot forwards. And I'm just so proud to lead a program like that. They make it what it is. And Collins Hill is definitely one that we're trying to get to a point where we just consistently put ourselves in a position to be successful and to win games and to show what it looks like to be an Eagle here. So the Hill is definitely here to stay and to play under the lights. And it's something, again, it's such a great thing for me to be a part of. I love it. The guys are great. And we just kind of continue to get on with that year after year, it seems.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Gleeson, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time today to talk to me. I really appreciate it. And I know we're all excited to get to go up there on Friday and get to see this matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one. Thank you so much, Madison.
I again just want to give a huge thank you to head coach Stephen George as well as Jamie Gleeson for taking the time out of their very busy schedules to talk to me. It was a lot of fun getting to hear some insight about this matchup and how important it is in region play. Now you guys can tune into this match at soccerdownhere.mixler.com. The girls match will start at 5:30 and the boys match will be right after that, starting at 7:30. So make sure you guys tune in and listen to that one on Friday. Alrighty, so before I close it out here, another quick word from our sponsors. Soccer is in Session is presented by Kaiser Permanente. Live well and thrive. Let Kaiser Permanente take care of the rest. Hey Atlanta, U.S. Soccer is moving its National Training Center to the ATL and hosting our first national team soccer doubleheader. The 9th annual She Believes Cup presented by Visa kicks off Saturday, April 6th at 12:30 p.m. at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Get your tickets now to support the U.S. women's national team against rivals Japan, followed by Brazil versus Canada. Secure your seats today at ussoccer.com/tickets. Again, that's ussoccer.com/tickets. Once again, I say this after every episode, but thank you guys so much for listening to Soccer is in Session. I really enjoy making all of these episodes for you guys. I love getting to spread awareness to more about high school soccer here in Georgia because of how it's developing and how it's growing. And so it's a lot of fun getting to talk to all these coaches and getting to hear their perspective on the game. But yeah, thank you guys so much for checking out this episode, and make sure you guys come back next week for another installment of Soccer is in Session. Make sure you guys subscribe to Soccer Down Here wherever you get your podcast. You can catch it there. You can also listen for free on the Soccer Down Here app, and you can download that in your app store. You can also check us out at soccerdownhere.net. And if you want to keep up with everything that I'm doing, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter/X with the tag Madison Crews 7. Thank you guys so much again for checking out this week's episodes, and I will see you guys next week.